Welcome to the Don't Get Fooled Show, NFL Week 16 with Big Ree and Ace. Bam, bam, bam. All right, boys and girls, gonna be a juicy Week 16. We got a lot of new content added this week. I listened to the viewers, and so it's gonna be a juicy weekend coming off a juicy Week 15. Went 4-2. Boys and girls got the survivor pick correct as well, and so it's an overall 5-2 week, and gonna continue to ride that momentum. Big Ree is still vacationing in Europe. I know there was a lot of feedback and comments about Big Ree, and so he is doing well. He's having a good time. I talked to him last word he said he was, off the coast of Italy. So he's having a good time, and hopefully he'll be back soon. But let's keep the momentum going and ride this ship for the new week. Let's get into a little bit of recap, boys and girls, from last week. We'll start off Thursday night. We had the 49ers versus the Seahawks. My pick was the Seahawks plus 3.5 there. The Niners did cover, but the game honestly went as I expected. Other than that fumble that Seahawks had at the end of the second quarter, and Niners got it all the way down to like the 4-yard line, and that 58-yard touchdown pass to Kittle on some botched coverage by Seattle at the beginning of the third, they should have lost that game. Honestly, Seattle should have covered easily, but I think Niners should have lost. So I'm still happy with that. Plays change the game, but obviously Niner fans, I know you guys watched that game and you can talk all you want about the Niners defense, but look, that offense didn't look good, and it got through against Seattle. Play some other teams, forget about it, you guys. It's not even going to be close. So if you're happy about Purdy, congrats, but look, I wouldn't be excited, and I would be on edge if I was a Niner fan. Let's get into some crazy games this weekend. I mean, unbelievable games. We'll start off with the Colts against Minnesota. They were up 33-0. That's correct. 33-0 at halftime, and they blew that game. Ended up losing 39-36 in overtime. Biggest comeback in NFL history. I mean, I think the big question here is, everybody's talking about how great of a job Jeff Saturday did. How do you blow that lead? That's what I want to talk about. Jeff Saturday, you have a 33-0, lead going into the third quarter, and you blow that game. Absolutely inexcusable. And that's why you don't hire ESPN analyst as your head coach in the National Football League. That's what happens. You make history on the wrong way, blowing a 33-point lead. I mean, it's unbelievable. And forget Jeff Saturday, the Colts management. Who hired this guy? Absolute joke. Absolute joke. And when you do those kind of joke moves, that's what happens. You become history. 33 largest comeback in NFL history. The Browns, they played the Ravens. That was my lock of the week. The Browns won 13-3, but honestly, they played like crap. I'll admit it. They covered and they won, but they played like crap. Baltimore had a lot of, mistakes and errors, and Cleveland didn't capitalize as they should. They came out with a win, but it was not an impressive win. And that's kind of where you go back to sometimes you make the call and you get lucky, and sometimes you don't, right? In this case, Browns won. It was a lucky win, but, they got the win. But the Seattle game, that was the right call, but we got the lot. We took the L there. And you live with it. You make the right call, you make the right research, and you live with the results. So I'm okay with that. Bills, they beat up on, Dolphins 32-29. It was a good game, really good game. And Dolphins, they looked like they had it. And, Bills snuck it out at the end, came back and won that game. And give credit to the Bills. Josh Allen, I'll give him credit. He played well. Dolphins really needed that win, but they did cover. We had them at plus 7.5, so they covered. So it was a 2-0 Saturday, but Bills won that. Eagles beat up, Bears 25-20. Saints beat the Falcons 21-18. Nothing really to talk about in that game.
Lions got a good win against the Jets, 20-17. They're hot, and they're trying to get into the wild card. And congrats to Coach Campbell. They're winning games. Jets, as expected. I don't think anybody expected the Jets to actually really make the playoffs there. And so that was a bad loss for them. Steelers beat the Panthers, another game that nobody really cares about. The Jaguars against Dallas, 40-34 win against Dallas. Dallas was up 27-10, late in the third, and then Jaguars just went on a rampage. And look, Dallas has got to take fault here. First of all, they had a 1st and goal on the 4. They had to end up settling for a field goal there. It could have been 31-10. Then Dak threw some really bad, interception. Just threw it in the air, and that's what happens. You throw stupid passes. That guy's got a lot of interceptions lately. Then Trevor Lawrence went on fire, just started throwing everything, and so you got to give the Jags credit. I'm not gonna blame that last interception in overtime on Dak, but look, it should never even gone to overtime. They should have locked this game up in regulation, even if they didn't cover, right? We had them -4. They should have covered it easily, but whatever, like they didn't, but they should have not lost that game. In no way do you lose that game, and it's kind of like what Big Ree said. Look, can you ever trust Dallas? And that's the reason why nobody trusts Dallas. They do this kind of crap, year in and year out. So, but congrats to, the Jaguars. They got a W, and they're trending upwards. Chiefs squeaked it out against the Texans. I don't know what's going on. Texans, they're playing pretty good over the last 2 games, but Chiefs held their own, and they didn't let this game slip up after being like a 14-point favorite, and they got the W. Broncos, they got a win without Russell Wilson starting. I know Big Ree would have had a lot to say here, but he's not here. They got a 24-15 win versus the Cardinals without Kyler Murray, but congrats, they got a win at least. They scored over 20 points. Raiders 30-24. I think this was the game of the week. This game I have honestly inexcusable. Do not know what to say. One of the worst plays I've ever seen. It's 24-24 with about 3 seconds left. New England decides to run it. They run about 20 yards, get into Raider territory, and then they decide to start doing laterals. And then the one guy threw the ball all the way back like 20 yards. Inexcusable. They were throwing laterals like they were down by 6 and they needed a touchdown. And it was a tie game. They were going to go to overtime. Threw it right to the Raider, defender, and he just ran it in. One of the worst plays I've ever seen, ever, in football, in NFL history, in my opinion. Unbelievable, just inexcusable. I don't know what they were thinking. And I'm sure Bill Belichick chewed everybody out unless he's the one that called that play and said, hey, we're going to do something. We're going to run it instead of passing a Hail Mary, and then we're going to do a lateral. But it was very, just a very bad play. I don't know what else to say. Horrible play, but the Raiders got the win. Chargers beat Tennessee 17-14. That was one of our picks. The under 46 hit easily, and that was a good pick. Chargers got the W. Bengals 34-23 versus the Buccaneers. That was a big time win by the Bengals. They were down 17-0 and then reeled off about 34 straight points, and unbelievable there. So look, they played well. They got the win on the road, and Buccaneers, if Big Ree was here once again, he would be talking a lot of crap about Tom Brady. 4 turnovers by Brady, 2 fumbles and 2 interceptions. And you have 4 turnovers, you're not going to win very many games, even if you're up 17-0. And then, Sunday night, the Giants 20-12 versus the Commanders. Giants actually looked pretty good there. Commanders had a chance at the end, but they couldn't get it done. And then the Monday night game, we had the Green Bay Packers, which was tonight against the Rams. Packers, they looked good. They were up big against the Rams. Not sure how it finished, still going on, but at least Green Bay looked like they were going to get the W. We'll see how that ends up playing out. But yeah, that's kind of a recap for last week. We're going to get into the BS segment of the week, boys and girls, the best segment of the show. And we're going to start off on Friday night, boys and girls. So Friday night, watching some Netflix, watching some good shows, and I was just in the mood for some donuts. I was like, man, but the place that I would go to get some donuts, door to door, about 15 minutes going there, getting the donuts, coming back. So it's not a long drive. So I'm like, should I go? Should I not? It's about 12 o'clock. Do I really want to get out of bed and go and get some donuts? But this place that I go to, if you go at the right time, right around like 1:30, they have fresh donuts, literally like right piping hot. They'll melt in your mouth. I get something called the bow tie. It's like a chocolate twist. It's a little bit bigger than the bar, so it's probably about this big. It's considered a fancy donut. It's a chocolate twist with chocolate chips on top, and you get it freshly made. Woo-hoo! You cannot beat that. So I was like, do I want to get up and go? It's about like 12 o'clock. I'm like, you know what? Normally the fresh donuts come out around 1:30, so I'll wait a little bit. And mind you, I have not gone probably in a few years to this place, like late night like that, and to get the fresh ones. Then I'm still up watching Netflix. It's about 1:45, and I'm like, you know what? I'm up. I'm not sleepy. You know what? That's it. I'm going to go. Drive out, get up, drive out to this place, get in line. There's nobody there, so I'm the only one. The worker comes out. He's like, 1 minute, please. I'm waiting there. Comes out, and I'm like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, boss? I need a fresh bow tie. The guy looks at me dead in the eyes, and he's like, we don't have them ready yet. And I'm like, wait, what? You don't have them ready? Like the one day that I decide to come in the 1:45, 2 o'clock in the morning, you don't have it? And I was like, did you guys change the times that you guys make them? Like maybe you guys make them a little bit later. He's like, no, normally they're ready by now, but we're missing 2 of our workers, so they're not going to be ready for another 2 hours. And I'm like, damn, my luck. Like I was debating to go, not to go, and I ended up going out there, and they don't have the fresh donuts. Completely doozy, disappointment. I ended up getting some donuts, don't get me wrong, but nothing like those fresh bow ties. So maybe a couple weeks, maybe another 2 weeks, I'll give it another try and see. But that was disappointing. But the donuts were good, but nothing like those fresh bow ties. Yeah, but that was Saturday, Friday night. Saturday, went out with some boys, got some tacos El Bandito. This place is legit out in, in the Los Angeles area. Got the birria tacos. Damn, and quesadilla. All I gotta say is this place has the best birria tacos that I've ever had in my life. I mean, first of all, these guys pack the hell out of the tacos and the quesadilla. Like the birria is literally coming out of the tacos. Like they are not stingy on the meat. Like they are more than generous and fresh. I mean, just bomb. And I'm pretty sure the tortillas, corn or flour, are handmade. Right there, they're making them there fresh. So anybody in the LA, Orange County area, Tacos El Bandito. So that's in Orange County. Hit that place up. Nothing like fresh birria. They got the ramen, they got the quesadillas, the burritos, all that good stuff. So that was good on Saturday. And then we got Christmas coming up, boys and girls. We got the holidays coming up. So want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Merry Christmas. We got the Mexican Christmas coming up as well. So that's coming up. I know they celebrate on a different day. So Merry Christmas to the Mexican people that are celebrating Mexican Christmas. We got Hanukkah starting as well. So happy Hanukkah to everybody. We got Kwanzaa coming up. So a lot of holidays, and so happy holidays to everybody, all the viewers, whatever holiday you're celebrating. Hope you guys have a good one. I know some of them last over more than a day, so hope you guys have a good holiday season. But on that note, kind of a question of the day. Want to know from the viewers, all these different holidays and, the last, say, 15 days of the last 10 days of the year, what holiday tradition do you most look forward to during these last 10 days? Whether it's the gifts, whether it's the food, specific. I really want to learn about some, what traditions different people follow. It's always good, I don't have any major traditions during holiday season. I've always said I'm going to start, maybe going to travel somewhere during New Year's, every New Year's. Haven't really started that consistently. Always said, over here in LA, we don't get any snow. So I was like, man, it'd be cool to celebrate the last 10 days where it snows and be in a place where it just snows. Maybe a few days, go out there. Haven't started that yet. So, over here we have pretty good weather. It's cold, but nothing too crazy. So anyhow, I want to hear from the viewers. I want to learn about any traditions that you guys have, it's a yearly tradition that you have over the last 10 days that you celebrate. It can be something small or something big. So, chime in. Look forward to that. On that note, we're going to get into the NFL shout-outs, boys and girls. Let's get some shout-outs this week. We got a lot of loyal viewers and want to give some shout-outs. So we're going to start off. First shout-out goes to Richard Layton. What up, Richard? Want to give a shout-out to Roland G. Roland actually had the comment of the week last week. He said Big Ree hitting the transfer portal, and that was a good one. And so comment of the week goes to Roland G. And we'll start a comment of the week, and a shout out to whoever gives the comment of the week. Shout out to Morgan Evans. I want to give a shout out to Don Owen. Here's a shout out to a loyal viewer, Charlie Harris Jr. Shout out to Michael Bellmeyer. Let's give a shout out here to Dol Mung. If I pronounced it incorrectly, I apologize. Dol Mung. Shout out to Walter Solomon. And the final shout out of the week goes to Antoine King. You want a shout out next week? Comment in the comment below and put your city. I really love to know what city you guys are tuning in from, and we got you guys with a shout out next week. And let's get into the survivor pick. Last week we had the Chiefs versus the Texans. The Chiefs came through, and we got the survivor pick, and I'm gonna ride the beating up on the Texans train again. The Tennessee Titans play the Houston Texans. Texans are on a 9-game losing streak, and they have lost 10 of their, 12 of their last 13 games. And look, don't get fooled. It was a close game, but I'm not buying that. And so I'm taking Tennessee Titans as the survivor pick, boys and girls. And give me a moment, let me get some water. Without further ado, boys and girls, we're going to get into the docket of games. So without further ado, here we go, boys and girls. Aquí vamos, chicos y chicas. Let's go. Game 1. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the New York Jets. The Jets are a 1-point favorite here. And before I forget, boys and girls, we got the bonus picks coming. I got a bonus parlay and a bonus teaser play at the end of the picks. First time ever on video, we're giving a parlay and a teaser pick, so stay tuned for that after the picks. Jacksonville at the Jets. Jacksonville 6-8, coming off a 40-34 overtime win versus Dallas. They put up 503 yards on Dallas, on a top 10 Dallas team. They were actually down 27-10 late in the third quarter and then just went on a barrage. They are currently on a 2-game winning streak, and they've won 4 of their last 6 games. Trevor Lawrence, he's on an absolute tear over the last 6 games, boys and girls. 275 yards per game, 14 touchdowns, and only 1 interception over 6 games. the defense is shaky. Look, they're giving up 28 points per game on average over the last 6 games. Then we got the Jets, 7-7. They're coming off a 2017 loss to Detroit. You know, they did have the lead in the fourth quarter, and then they gave up a long touchdown with under 2 minutes left. They are currently on a 3-game losing streak. They are 2-5 in their last 7 games. Look, they do have the 4th ranked pass D, the Jets, but I don't trust the offense. Look, they've scored 17 points last week against Detroit, and Detroit is one of the worst defenses in the league, period. And you're only scoring 17 points. And I told you guys when the Jets were 6-3, I said they're not making the playoffs. Let's not get fooled here, Jet fans. And sorry, you guys are not making the playoffs. And look, both teams are kind of trending in opposite directions. The Jets, you know, since 6-3, they're just not playing well, 1-4. And, you know, Jaguars, as I said earlier, they're, you know, 4-2 in their last 6 games. I think the Jets lose out, honestly. They lose out, and I think the Jags can win out. And so I really like the Jacksonville here, and I'm taking Jacksonville +1. This is one of my lock of the weeks, boys and girls. Game 2. It's like, there's 2 games I really like, and that's one of them. Cincinnati, this is a Saturday game. The Jacksonville versus the Jets, that's a Thursday night game. This is a Saturday game, boys and girls. And remember, most of the slate this week is on Saturday. There's only, I believe, 3 or 4 games on Sunday because of Christmas. So remember that. It's a lot of Saturday games. Cincinnati Bengals at the New England Patriots. The Bengals are a 3.5-point favorite. Cincinnati 10-4, coming off a 34-23 win versus Tampa Bay. They were actually down 17-0 here, and then they went on to score 34 straight points to get the W. You know, like I said earlier, too bad Big Ree wasn't here because he would have been ripping Tom Brady. You know, 4 turnovers, and you know, like I said earlier, you cannot win games when you have 4 turnovers, but congrats to Cincinnati for that comeback, 34 straight points. They are on a 6-game winning streak, and they have won 10 of their last 12 games. They're a good team, no doubt about it. They are a good team. They had some early hiccups starting 0-2. They've calmed the waters, playing really well as of late, but I'll say this. They're not a really good offensive team. They're not a really good defensive team. They're just kind of an average on both ends. They have a really good quarterback in Joe Burrow. You got to give him credit, but average on both sides. And I'm worried for Joe Burrow. I mean, I know last year he had 51 sacks in the regular season. This year he has already 37. I know 14 games, still a few more games, but you know, he's probably going to get sacked at least 7-8 more times. And they still have not shored up that offensive line, and it's going to end up biting them, if you ask me, especially when you get to playoffs. New England 7-7. They're coming off a 30-24 loss to Las Vegas. They were down 17-3 at half. Then they came back and took the lead 24-17, and then ended up just blowing this game. As I said earlier, one of the worst plays I've ever seen in NFL history. It's just so bad. I don't know what they were thinking. They blew that game and potentially could cost them a wild card spot here. They are 1-3 since that 6-4 start. I mean, Mac Jones, I don't know what is going on with that guy. 3 touchdown passes in the last 5 games. You heard that right. 3 touchdown passes in the last 5 games. I mean, just really bad. Defense giving up 25 points per game over the last 4 games. And look, I think my thoughts here are they're going to have a sour taste after that embarrassing loss last week. Very embarrassing loss. I really like their D-line. They have 48 sacks on the season. I think they're going to really put pressure on Joe Burrow, make it tough on him. They are at home. They cannot wait to get to the field here. And I'm taking New England plus 3.5. Game 3. We got the Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are a 7-point favorite here. Houston 1-12-1. They're coming off a 30-24 overtime loss to Kansas City. They kept it close, but they got dominated on all aspects here. Total yards 502 to 219. Yeah, you heard that correctly. 502 yards to 219. 33 to 18 on first downs, 37 to 27 in time of possessions. Just really got dominated. They're on a 9-game losing streak. They've lost 12 of 13 games. And during that 9-game losing streak, they've given up at least 23 points in every single game. At least 23 points in every single game. Offense is really bad. I mean, look, they've not scored more than 24 points all season, boys and girls. All season. Tennessee 7-7, coming off a 17-14 loss to the Chargers. Derrick Henry played well. He had 104 yards on the ground, 59 yards receiving. But look, dude, as I said earlier, they're missing their top 2 wide receivers in this game, and they need Treylon Burks back. Still questionable for next week. They're on a 4-game losing streak. Tennessee is. They did beat Houston 17-10 in Week 8, and that was with rookie quarterback Malik Willis getting the start. Tannehill is questionable. They're not saying if he's going to play or not. If he doesn't, obviously Willis will get the start. He did get injured. He came back. He got injured against the Chargers. He did return, but they're saying that he might have to be held out next game. So we don't know yet. Look, here's my thoughts here. Houston's had 2 competitive games lately versus Dallas and Kansas City, but the party is over, boys and girls. Let's not get fooled. Houston's going to lose this game. They have the 32nd ranked run defense. They're going up against Derrick Henry. I like him to have close to 200 yards in this game. And this is the second game that I'd really like on the slate this week. And I'm taking Tennessee -7. Game 4, we got the Atlanta Falcons at the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are a 7.5-point favorite. Atlanta 5-9, coming off a 21-18 loss to New Orleans. Look, they stayed competitive, but just not enough offense with rookie quarterback Desmond Ridder, the rookie 3rd-round pick out of Cincinnati. Just a rookie. You can't expect much from these rookies, especially if they're not studs and they're starting on the road. It's tough. First start, they're 1-5 in their last 6 games, and they have scored 17 or under in 5 of their last 7 games. They do have a nice run game. They had 231 yards on the ground last week, but Baltimore has the 3rd-ranked run D, giving up only 85 yards per game. We got Baltimore 9-5. They're coming off a 13-3 loss to Cleveland. That was my lock of the week last week. Cleveland came through. As I said, they're going to struggle offensively without Lamar Jackson, and that's exactly what happened. 3 points total. And they've had a total of 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games. Total 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games. They're saying, Lamar Jackson is questionable. I mean, I honestly probably expect him to return, but he's questionable. We don't know yet. Wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't return, but they definitely badly need a win, and they badly need some offensive injection from Lamar. Running back J.K. Dobbins, back-to-back 100-yard, games, and so he's looking good. Here's my thought here. Desmond Ridder, the Atlanta QB, this is going to be a back-to-back road game here. On the road for a rookie quarterback against a really good, Baltimore defense. That defense looked good. They lost last week, but they looked good. And going up against Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, and then going up against Desmond Ridder and Cordell Patterson are 2 different things. This is going to be in Baltimore, 30-degree game temperature. And I really I'm not taking the spread here. I really like the under. The under is set at 37.5. and I'm taking the under 37.5. And on a bonus here, for any of the boys and girls that want to try to go big here, the no touchdown scored prop, you get 60, 75 to 1 on this, maybe even 100 to 1, because that doesn't hit much. If you want to throw a flyer on that, that's not a bad play here. I mean, Atlanta on the road, this, like I said, you don't expect those to win, but if you want to throw a flyer and that thing does hit, you're gonna cash in, boys and girls. It's gonna be a really nice Christmas, I'll tell you that. So just a bonus play there. All right, Game 5, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are a 2.5-point favorite here. Las Vegas 6-8, coming off a 30-24 win versus New England. As I said, it was a crazy win. They, walked off on that lateral, got the interception, and just took it all the way to the house. Great win for them. They won 4 of their last 5 games. The only loss was that 17-16 comeback win by the Rams. But other than that, they could have, been 5 straight wins. If you guys remember earlier on, I said I think they can run the table and win their last 6 games. It didn't happen because they lost against the Rams, but I still think they can play well and end the season. Quarterback David Carr, this guy is having one of his worst seasons, honestly. His worst season of his career. His accuracy, completion percentage is down to 61%. Normally he's about 68 to 70% career. But, running back Josh Jacobs, this guy's on a complete tear, 1,495 total yards on the season, 11 touchdowns. And check this out, the guy's got 5.1 yards per carry. And here's the very interesting thing is, this guy's only 24 years old. This is his 4th year in the league, and he's only 24. So if he can continue this play for the next 3-4 years, man, Raiders, look, they've had a lot of close losses this year. If they can shore that up, and they're going to be a scary team next year. Just like last year I told you guys, watch out for, Philadelphia Eagles, and watch out for Jalen Hurts to be MVP. I like the Raiders next year, boys and girls. I'm saying it now, so pay attention to that future for next season. They're averaging 25 points per game over the last 7 games, so their offense is looking good. Pittsburgh 6-8. They're coming off a 24-16 win versus Carolina. They held a solid Carolina run game to 21 total yards. That's impressive. I'll give Pittsburgh credit there. They're 4-2 in their last 6 games, but I am not impressed with their wins. They beat New Orleans, Indianapolis, Atlanta, and Carolina. And none of those were like big wins. These were all maybe by 10, 8, 7, 3. Like, they're not blowing anybody out, and these are just mediocre teams. And here's my thoughts here. I'm going to ride the Raiders momentum here. They're playing well. They honestly should be on a 5-game winning streak right now. And I think they're going to ride that, because they could have lost last week, right? Anything goes to overtime and anything can happen. They could have lost, but they got that win on a walk-off. And I think they're going to ride that momentum. Like, they got a free win there. They just got a free win. New England gave them that win at the end. And I think they're going to ride this momentum, and they're going to finish the season strong. I really like them here to cover 2.5 easily and win outright. And so I like them to cover the 2.5, and can't wait for the following week, boys and girls, for them to match up against San Francisco. And you guys will see, depending on how that line goes, that will be a game that I'm definitely going to be on. And so I'm taking the Raiders plus 2.5. All right, boys and girls, the bonus parlay and teasers for the week. Everybody commented they wanted some parlay plays, some teasers, some other over and unders, and maybe some props and stuff. And so, as I've been saying throughout the season, there's a lot of more content that we can put out. We can put out a lot more games, a lot more stuff. It just takes a lot of time, guys, and there's just a lot more involved. And so, me and Big Ree have been debating a lot of stuff. So potentially thinking about a lot of the feedback we're getting is to just start a membership on our YouTube channel and start putting out a lot more content. Literally, like every game has an over and under, the spread, the props, player props. we could literally just go full time and start tearing it up. And that's not even to include that basketball is honestly our best sport, I'll be honest. And we don't do any basketball videos. All we've been doing is football. So, I want to kind of gauge some of the viewers. Like, I've been looking over the last couple weeks, we get 7, 8, 9, 10,000 views, and we got 250 likes, 300 likes. I mean, that's a joke. You're watching 10, 15 minutes of our thing, and we're getting 200 likes. I mean, honestly, it's embarrassing, to be honest, to just click a like button. But today, I want to use the like as a different. Like, you like the video, great, but I want you guys to click like if you're interested for us to start up some membership program. We're going to be putting out videos daily, and you guys are interested, we'll put a small nominal subscription fee, to help us with all our editing, our video guy, all our times. It does take a lot of time. So if you're interested to either subscribe to our channel for daily videos and just putting a lot more picks out there, and even a thought is just opening up our sports, all our picks, literally, not just our picks, our actual plays, teasers, straights, parlays to everybody. If you're interested in that, hit the like button. And I can't wait to see how many likes we get. So that will indicate who's kind of interested. If we can start that up, and maybe as soon as January for NBA and college basketball. So if you guys want more content, hit that. But let's get into some parlays. Okay, I got a parlay for the boys and girls. This is a 5-team parlay. First leg is the Tennessee Titans money line. Second leg of this is Tampa Bay Buccaneers money line. Third leg is the Los Angeles Chargers money line. Fourth leg is the Miami Dolphins money line. And the fifth leg is the Jacksonville Jaguars +1. That's a 5-team parlay plus 610. So 6-1 on your money. If you put $10 on this, you'll win about $60 and you'll cash out total of $70. You put $100 on this, you're going to win $600. You're going to cash out $700. So that's a 5-team parlay for the boys and girls. And now I got a teaser play for you guys. This is a 6-point teaser. We got New England Patriots +3.5. We're moving that to 9.5. So New England +9.5. Then we got the Tennessee Titans -7. We're moving them, and it's going to be Tennessee -1. We got Buffalo Bills. They're -8.5 versus Chicago. We're moving that to -2.5 Buffalo Bills. Then we got the Browns versus the Saints. The over is 32.5. We're moving that to 26.5. Over 26.5. Browns versus New Orleans. And the last one here is the 49ers versus Washington Commanders. We're taking the under 39. We're moving it to 45. So under 45 in that game. If you put $10 on this 5-team teaser, that's going to win $34 and you'll cash out $44. If you put $100 on this 5-team teaser, you're going to win $340 and cash out $440. So that's a parlay and a teaser play for the boys and girls. Comment below any more feedback, any more comments on, for us to really grow and add content and expand this show. And, cannot wait. It's going to be a juicy, juicy weekend. Want to wish everybody happy holidays. Have a fun, safe weekend and holiday season with the family and friends. Make sure to comment. Hit the like button, boys and girls. This is embarrassing. We need those likes up, and comment, subscribe, and until next week.